The United States understands that farmers, ranchers, right, these are the kind of people who have, lots of political voice. And we understand that. And so what we try to do is find the path that is acceptable, right, politically at home and for us as well. And I think we found that way. I think we'll find that path together. It's just a smart way of doing it. We have that same political will here. So I think we can speak to each other and find that path.
Can I ask you a couple of personal questions?
Sure.
You've been an entrepreneur. Your story, anyone who knows your story knows your story is one of resilience. What's it been like to be over here? What's the Mr. Lutnick comes to Washington, but what's been the biggest surprise, both positively and negatively?
So I've been my own boss, or I was. I was my own boss for more than 30 years. I worked at the same company for 41 years. I became the CEO when I was 29, the principal owner of the company when I was 35. If you had told me on November 1st that I would not be working at my company and I will have divested, sold my company and own nothing of my company, which I own nothing of my company now, I would have said, that's a joke, that's impossible. That's November 1st when I was on the campaign trail with Donald Trump and I was helping him and advising him and traveling around with him. But I was there to help him get elected, and my idea was to stand on the train platform and wave goodbye, right? I was going to do transition, and then afterward I was going to, go back to running Cantor Fitzgerald with my great friend in the White House. But if you remember, the transition went so smoothly, so swiftly, and the president enjoyed it so much because I know him really, really well. And so I knew what he wanted to see, how he wanted to see it, and I had it all set up for him. And he didn't want to talk about transition 1 minute before he won the election. So he wouldn't talk about it at all. So he just trusted me to do it. And last time, by the way, he trusted Chris Christie to do it, and he fired Chris Christie a couple of days after election day and had to start again. So think of how messed up that would be. So in this case, he trusted me completely, and if you remember how quickly it went, and so he just had such a good time, he started talking to me about serving. And the biggest difference is I am absolutely not my own boss. Like my friends go, you have a boss, because I'm like, oh, the boss says this, the boss says that, I can't. My wife says, when are we taking vacation? And I said, I have no idea. She's like, do you ever get a vacation? I said, I've only had the job for 4 months. You can't have a vacation. And
can't say, boss, I need 5 days off.
I have a boss. But what I'll tell you about this boss, he is the most intuitive person I have ever met. Every time he asks me something, he's right. He says, on commercial ships, why do they always have that flag? I never know what that flag is. What is that flag? Like, none of you know what the flag is. On every commercial ship, cruise ship you've ever seen, generally the #1 flag is Liberia. Well, Liberia, Panama, these are all flags of convenience. The whole thing is a scam. Okay, it's all a tax scam. So the fact that he asked me he knows, he always asks these kind of questions, and they are so insightful every single time. And so you just end up with so much respect for the man because he actually, instinctively, understands so much. And then you sit with him, and he knows how to call Putin, and he calls Xi, and it's just, look, if you're going to work for somebody, right, the only person to work for is Donald Trump in his second term. Because you imagine you walk into the Oval Office and you've never been there before. So what you do is you ask other people, how do you do this? Right? Now he walks in, he knows exactly how to do it, and he's thought about how to do it better for 4 years. So he comes in, fire. I got 4 years, let's go. And every day he knows what to do and how to do it, right? He runs press conferences every day. Every day he's willing to talk about everything. He sits at his desk, he calls the press in, he talks to them, he talks openly, he tells people what he thinks, he gets on the plane, he walks in the back and he just has a chat. No one has ever seen anything like this because no one's been more confident in what they should be doing as president, and no one's more intuitively thoughtful than Donald Trump, and that's what makes it amazing to work for him.
So last question, because I know we're out of time. What's the advice, given that it is the second term, for the people in this room, many of whom are leaders in the U.S., of big U.S. companies, some are leading big Indian companies, given that it's the second term, given that he's confident, what's the best advice for this room in terms of engaging with you, with President Trump, with this administration that's different from the first term?
Have no doubt and have no fear about what he says. What he says he's going to do, right? Don't listen to the fake news. Don't listen to the legacy media. He's going to do what he says. Bet on Donald Trump. You should bet on Donald Trump, okay? Should invest in America because America is going to reshore. It's going to win. I'll give you a couple of statistics, right? If we open enough markets around the world, we should increase our exports by $300 billion, which would be 25% of our trade deficit, an attainable, unimpressive outcome. That's 1% of GDP growth. You have trillions and trillions coming onshore to invest onshore. If you think about building those factories, you're thinking about 1.5 points of GDP. So you realize we just discussed 2.5 points of domestic GDP driven by the White House, not counting the regular growth. So you're going to see the United States of America grow 4%, not 3, not 2. Because if you think about it, why was America always growing kind of the same as the rest of the world? The answer was because it wasn't taking care of itself. When it wakes up to take care of itself, it's going to do really well. And the best way to think about it is the president thinks America first, but he does not think America only or America exclusively. He will, first he's got to take care of home so we're big and strong, but then he's going to take care of his allies. He's going to make sure he takes care of India, who he deeply, deeply admires and respects. And we are going to have a great, great relationship together.
On that note, thank you, Mr. Secretary. Pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary and Mr. Deegan. I now invite Mr. Frank St. John, Chief Operating Officer at Lockheed Martin, to give a special vote of thanks.
All right, well, good evening, everyone. On behalf of Lockheed Martin, I'd like to extend our sincere thanks to the U.S.-India Strategic Partnership Forum for bringing us together for this important dialogue. USIFPF has been a great partner in our efforts and continues to be a powerful platform for advancing the U.S.-India relationship through industry leadership, collaboration, and shared vision. A special thanks to you tonight, Secretary Lutnick, for your thoughtful remarks and clear perspective on the opportunities ahead. Your leadership in global finance and commitment to innovation reflect the kind of forward-thinking approach that will be vital as we deepen commercial ties between our two nations. Thank you again.
We the people, the partners for India and the United States.
Beautiful.